right, guys, welcome back to the Pulse with Willie and Al. Here we are. We are back today with our Christmas episode, episode 106. How's it going today, bro?
Pretty good. Happy holidays, you filthy animals.
Yeah, you too,
Yeah,
man. You too. It's definitely a nice time of year for sure.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I guess you reminded me there. Like before we get started, we do want to wish everyone a happy and safe holiday. Uh,
yeah.
Regardless of what it is that you celebrate. Hopefully, it's a good one that you have. But yeah, guys, we were gone last week, but we're back, and we're gonna get you guys caught up on some of the stuff that was missed, or that we missed, or that you already know about, or stuff we want to discuss. So, first thing, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but Mahomes and Parsons both injured, and sad to see, but injuries do happen in this league.
Well, just to kind of add on that a little bit, the Chiefs are so injury riddled that Gardner Minshew then tore his ACL the next week.
Yeah, which was just a kind of a sad thing to see. And I mean, we're going to
Yeah,
talk about it with some of the slate of games we have coming up for Christmas, but it went from like, okay, this is going to be a fun Christmas to watch to, yeah, I think we're going to be spending time with the family instead. So,
yeah.
uh, just kind of a rough
Or if
one.
you really hate your family, you can still watch bad football.
Yeah, I
So
mean, you can, or you can watch one side of good football in those games. That's always an
sure.
option too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll trek back to Week 15 real quick. Some big games that went on. Atlanta ended up beating Tampa Bay, which was just a wild game. But I every time I see that happen, and uh, especially that I say every time, but when I see that happen, as particularly that game, Kirk Cousins still has it, and this is a chance just to
Kirk Cousins.
yeah, I just want to remind you, this is after that game. I just want to give you a reminder, which will come up again in the offseason and then before fantasy, that you should draft Kyle Pitts next year. So,
Well,
uh,
Kyle Pitts is having his best year ever, so it doesn't really matter,
yeah, I
And
think he's having his best 4 game stretch ever too, which is kind of
yeah,
crazy.
coming at the right time, baby. Coming at the right
It
time.
definitely is. But yeah, very interesting game there. Then Buffalo ended up beating New England. Kind of a need to win game for Buffalo, to be honest. Like I know New England was up, but I think Buffalo needed to be able to show that they can come back and win those games. For New England, I think it was a necessary loss too. And the reason I say that is because they need to understand that it's a very young team that they have. There are some veterans there, but a very young team, and they need to be able to have something like that happen where they can see a game slip away from them. They hopefully are not
Yeah,
going to allow something like that to happen again in the playoffs, but much rather you have it happen in week 15 than first round of the playoffs or anywhere within the playoffs, right? The idea is learn from these regular season games, and Drake May's very young. He's still learning a lot, and I think turn around in week 16. I think it showed what it is that he's learned.
yeah.
So, or
Well, I think that I think you're right. I think they're just a young team and they didn't know how to close that game.
yeah,
They
yeah.
like they had the chance to win the division at home. They're up 21-0, and their foot is on their throat, on
Mhm.
Buffalo's throat, and they just didn't know how to close that out.
Yeah, you also like Josh Allen is one of those guys that if you mess around, you're gonna find out, and he'll
Sure
make
are.
he'll make you pay. And this is a guy that they definitely will see in the playoffs. At some point if they progress far enough, and it's something they need to be ready for. Week 15 just continuing on, right? Philly got back on track on offense and defense. They looked pretty good last week, and then the Rams they ended up beating Detroit in what was just like a wild game, man. Just an absolutely wild game that they had, just back and forth. It was just really crazy to be able to watch. Seattle they ended up staving off Indy in that Philip Rivers return, which I'm sure probably was a little surprising to you that Indy was able to keep it that close. Uh, but
Um,
he
as somebody that put a couple bets on Philip Rivers like over passing yards, it's kind of nice. It kind of was nice to believe in Phil Rivers.
Yeah, yeah, he
It was nice.
he didn't look that bad, and to be honest, I don't think he played awful this week either. But it just,
No.
against Seattle, like they just Philip Rivers wasn't going to be the savior for this team. They've dropped what 6 out of 7.
Yeah.
It's been an awful stretch for them.
Yeah, they started 8-1
Yeah,
or 7-1. Yeah.
yeah, it's been really tough. New Orleans, they beat Carolina last week in what was a must game for Carolina, especially with Tampa Bay losing. And Carolina was trying to take the division and stuff. Fast forward a week, we'll talk more about that. But like, just very interesting that New Orleans isn't going away either. Like that's a team that people just think terrible things about, and I feel like I never consider them as a good team. But like Tyler Show, it seems like he's pretty good there.
Yeah,
Uh,
Shuck's pretty good. Like Chris Olave's having a career year. Like Chris Olave's healthy too, which is really nice. And because all the concussions he had, like
yeah, he
you're
was
starting
talking
to get
about
worried.
he was talking about retiring, and it's
Yeah,
great to see him playing so well. Jeez, I called him Show, but Chuck, yeah, right. Like Chuck's just been playing great, and actually has started the talk of like, all right, maybe we don't go out and draft a quarterback this year, which I think is a really
yeah,
good thing for New Orleans. Just and I think they have a lot of guys on that team that are bringing some of the younger guys along. We thought they were kind of fire sailing, getting rid of Shaheed, possibly considering to trade Olave and Kamara, but that's not what they did. And it's been neat to kind of see them try to play competitive football, which they're not bad on defense. They're really not. I think they need a little more help on offense and a few
need some
more.
line help for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. And they've been working on building that the last few years. The last one from week 15 was Minnesota beat Dallas, which was just a bit surprising for me. Like, I know JJ McCarthy returns, but I just kind of felt Dallas was going to be a better team than that. And it just was a little rough to see that. Remind me, that wasn't the game. It was the week before that CD Lamb had gotten hurt.
yeah.
But I don't know. I just, Dallas is, I mean, they're going
Turns
to have,
out, uh, turns out Dallas will disappoint you once again.
yeah,
So
kind of unfortunate. But moving on to week 16, I mean, we started off the week with just an absolute bang, and I was in the fantasy semifinals, so to have Nakua go off on Thursday night was just something miraculous. That I got a text
yeah,
from my buddy who was like, "Listen, I'm really not happy about Nakua playing on a Devontae-less offense right now because Adams ended up sitting and stuff. And then I was like, I don't know, we'll see. And then Nakua just absolutely popped off and just had a ridiculous game. Um,
you and I talked about that, and I think that game summed up. I wrapped up Stafford's MVP case. I give him the
yeah,
MVP. I'm okay
yeah,
with it.
yeah. I definitely think so. Even with them losing, he didn't do anything to lose that game, right? Like it
Nope.
just it was wild. But I wanted to ask you again because we've had this conversation many times. Like Sam Darnold comeback in that game was just it was miraculous, man. Like, do you trust him?
Yeah. No.
You're
No.
okay with the comeback, you like it, but you still don't trust him.
Yeah. No. Because he played like absolute dog shit for 2.5 quarters.
Yeah. Uh,
Like he just threw like dumb interception after dumb interception. You're like, okay, cool. Guess. And now it's just funny to me that Seattle has controls its destiny for the 1 seed, and we're just there's a world where Sam Darnold wins 14 games in a row, 2 years in a row, and I just don't know. Like, I don't know. I just you could tell me that Seattle's going to get the 1 seed and lose their first game, and I'd be like, yeah, well that makes sense.
yeah. I don't want to believe that, but I could see that happening. Like, give me a team like Chicago going in there and beating them. I could see it. I mean,
Well, I think this year it speaks larger. It's less a Darnold thing, more larger to the like. There isn't a team that you're like, oh, they're the odds-on favorite, clear cut, like cut above the rest. Like every
yeah.
really good team has a real like a flaw. What you think about it? Denver, great defense. Offense kind of sometimes is suspect.
Mm-hmm.
You think about New England, offensive line's not great. We don't really get pressure on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
We still have a really young quarterback. You know, you can just go down the list with every playoff team and be like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't
You're
know, man.
you're right about that. Uh, and I mean, we'll cover that in a second, but I think that's what kind of paves the way for some teams that have the experience because experience does matter this time of year. It really
Yeah.
does. Chicago ends up beating Green Bay in what was just another overtime thriller. And I feel like are we already on the wrong side of history when it comes to like this team, like recognizing that the Bears may actually be good? Like Ben Johnson might have done a really good job with this team, and like Caleb Williams might actually be a really good quarterback. Like, are we already on the wrong
Um,
side of history with that, or
I think Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. I don't think that he's like great. I think some of the throws he makes is insane. I
yeah?
also the Bears are a lot like the Patriots this year, where you win the games that you're scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
They both play fourth place schedules this year. That is
Yeah,
what that is. No, like no judgment. As my favorite team is gonna get potentially win the division and fight for a one seed based off of that. I'm not mad about it.
right.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I think it shows resilience. But I will say this though, history does not reward teams like that in the playoffs. Because when
No,
you're in the playoffs, you're playing really good teams. You can't afford to fuck around like that. You
you're right
can't.
about that, but based on what you said before, like, are any of these teams really good teams? Like, that's the
No.
thing. I could,
I mean, yeah, they're good enough to make the playoffs.
yeah, I could see the Bears like winning a game in the playoffs, or maybe even two, ending up in the NFC Championship. I don't think that's going to be the path, but I I don't know. It kind of happens. I see it a lot with like wrestling tournaments, right? Like the NCAA wrestling tournament, you look at the bracket, you're like, oh man, these guys are going to meet in the quarters or the semifinals. Like this is going to be crazy. I feel like the divisional round games are going to be really, really intense this year.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And I'll say this about the Bears. I think what I'm curious to see what they look like against San Francisco this week.
mhm.
That is that is a measuring stick game.
It definitely is. And San Francisco is a team that kind of controls their own destiny because I believe if they win out, they'll win the division and get the one seed, which if that happens, I mean Kyle Shanahan wrapped up the coach of the year award because anyone that loses Nick Bosa and Fred Warner and still is able to secure a one seed, like I don't know, all the injuries that that team's dealt with this year, and I know Kittle's banged up now too. Ayuk basically going AFK and mildly retiring, and if you had told me like, oh yeah, you're gonna lose your starting quarterback for 5 6 weeks out of the season, still win
And
some
have Mac
games,
Jones look like a competent quarterback.
yeah, and also by the way, all the injuries that you're gonna sustain this year, none of them are gonna beat a Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Wow, man,
Yeah. No, you if you had told me that, I would have laughed in your face.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. It's going to be a big measuring stick for them. Green Bay, I know they're. I feel like I've knocked them down a few pegs now because Jordan Love's in concussion protocol, but I just, with that and the Parsons injury, I just don't feel like this is a team that's going to be able to get it done in the playoffs. I just, I know Christian Watson came back. It seems like he was uh, gelling with Jordan Love quite a bit. Jaden Reed's back now, but I don't know. Losing guys like Tucker Kraft and Micah Parsons obviously really hurts this team a lot. It makes you kind of
Yeah.
wonder, like if Tucker Kraft was there all year, like where would this team be, right?
Right.
Um,
Also, if you're Green Bay, you can't blow a 10-point lead with 2 minutes to go.
yeah,
You
man.
can't do that. That's
So I woke up early in the morning and it was 16-6, I think it was.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this game's over. There's like 2.5 minutes left. I'm like, this game's over. And then when I looked later, I was like, there's no way this game's in overtime. And then I turned it on when I saw that win on the that throw on the bus. I was like, there is no way he made that throw. No way. It was unreal. Unreal,
Scott
man.
Hansen did some of his best work. It's
Hmm.
great.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's wild. Carolina, they beat Tampa Bay, which I mean, just a big game, but like a huge win for the franchise, and just I just no one's given any real credit to them this year, myself included. Like I didn't pick Carolina to even be in consideration to win this division, and I think we knew it wasn't going to be a great division, but we really thought like probably Atlanta or Tampa Bay running
Yeah.
away, right? Uh, I mean, this team's won 8 games and they only won five last year. Dave Canales, he's done a solid job with this team. Really, like,
I think at the start of the year, I had them winning like 3.
yeah, yeah. I'm fairly certain that I didn't have them winning many games at all. But Bryce Young looks like a competent quarterback. Ted McMillan looks like it was a steal in the draft. He's probably going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean,
Cat
he's
was good in college. He wasn't this good, which is insane.
yeah, which is strange to me. And I've considered that recently as I'm like learning about some of the players in college football. I'm like, how did this guy only get 6 sacks over 2 seasons, playing against worse competition, but he comes into the NFL and has 10 sacks in his first year? Like, how does that happen, right?
Yeah.
It kind of I think it shows the growth. But Bryce Young is becoming a guy now, right? When he's out there, he doesn't look scared. He's still small, but he's making plays out there, and he's making a lot of smart plays too,
Yeah.
which is really impressive. So really happy for Carolina. Tampa Bay, I don't know what's going on with them, man. It's
I
just
think
rough.
there's a underlying serious injury with Baker Mayfield.
I was gonna say he's definitely banged up, and yeah, I don't know. So I also think there might be one with Egbuka too, because he has just fallen off a cliff since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
It's been really really rough.
Shout out Mike Evans coming back once again for fantasy playoffs, baby.
Yeah,
Once again.
he's a
Once
stud,
again.
man. Also, one thing, and I didn't have it on the list here, but I want to mention it. Like Taysom Hill, shout out to him for being like the first guy ever,
Yeah.
1,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards, and 1,000 receiving yards in a career. Like, and when you hear him talk and like the guys talk about him, like what a stand up guy this guy is, right? It just an absolute stud, fantasy nightmare to play against, and that's why I've got him on my team this week. So.
Well,
Uh,
you know what's wild about him is just I forget how long he's been in our lives.
Yeah. What is it? At
He's
least 10,
35.
12 years?
Yeah, he's 35 and like this is his 9th year in the league. He's been in our lives for a long time, and I sometimes forget that.
It's crazy. The Jags, they traveled out west and they ended up beating Denver in Denver, which was just a huge win for them. And I don't know if you caught the talk kind of like Sean Payton, and I don't think it was a slight, but the media just made it that way of him being like, "Oh yeah, he's impressed with what he was able to do in a small market." And it's like that's not what I don't think that's the way that he said it, but then uh
I just feel like you could choose better wording though.
you probably could have, but Jacksonville is a small market, right? So like
Yeah.
I don't know, like I understood what he was trying to say, but then they turn around and he he
They
kind of
whoop that ass.
not only that,
They
but then
whoop that.
he came back and
Yeah.
said not bad for a small market team, right? Like it was kind of
Yep.
funny to see that. But
Like I
Mr.
don't know that I
Duval's been
trust
playing well.
I don't know that I trust Jacksonville, but like
Hmm.
I don't. Again, we're in the same boat where you're like, well, I guess they could win a playoff game. I don't know. Trevor Lawrence has won a playoff game already,
I
and there
mean,
was that year he almost beat Patrick Mahomes in the second round in Arrowhead. I don't know. Like,
the thing is, when you look at it, I mean, they made some right moves that they had. Their defense is playing well. You've also got Jacoby Myers that you traded for. You've got Brian Thomas back. He's healthy now, so I mean that's a team that's
I think
trending.
I think if you had told me that Jacksonville would win 11 games and not really get anything from Brian Thomas or Travis Hunter, I would have again laughed you out of the building. I'd have been like, "You're an idiot."
Yep.
Yeah,
Um.
it's Jacoby Myers, which is a huge pickup for them at midseason, and Parker Washington.
Yeah.
Dude is like just balling out. Like,
Well, Liam Cohen's just got these guys playing really well, and shout out to Liam Cohen. He's originally from Warwick, Rhode Island. I don't know if you
I
remember
didn't
this,
know that.
but he went to college at UMass, and he went to LaSalle in Providence. So like he's a Rhode Island guy, which is really really cool. And stayed in New England to be able to play his college ball, but just he's really got these guys playing really well, and I don't know. He was a guy that was kind of a laughing stock during the summer when he had that big Duval press conference.
Oh man, I sent you so many memes about that.
Yeah,
So many.
but he's really got these guys believing, and I don't know. I feel like the less they are in the news, the better. And they could mess around and really really hurt someone in the playoffs.
Well, you know how we always talk about coordinators leaving and like that really messing up a team, like it
Hmm.
did with the Lions this year. I kind of keep thinking about that with Tampa because Liam Cohen was their offensive coordinator last year, and he
Hmm.
leaves, and Tampa is just kind of buns.
Yeah, it's strange what's happening there. Um, Speaking of Detroit, right? Pittsburgh ended up beating that ass, and this just didn't make sense to me because like Detroit just hasn't gotten it done this year, and I don't.
They're snake bitten this year, man.
You can't
Snake bitten.
you can't tell me that Pittsburgh's a good team. Like I don't believe it, man. I don't. Like I don't even want to mention the DK stuff because I think that's like I I don't know. There's too much going on with fan interaction within the game, and I don't know,
Yeah,
man. There's too much going on with that, but also guys got to control themselves a bit. But that hurts Pittsburgh him not being there. I think Rooney is probably going to do right by him and make sure that he pays his bonus. That he
Willie, Willie, I don't know
he's a
that he will.
he's a fair owner. He is. Um,
Mm,
yeah, I mean, dude, they do right by players. There's a if you look at a lot of the players that have stayed there, they've been paid well.
yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the better owners in the league. Um,
Okay.
but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with that. I'm not even sure Pittsburgh doesn't even have it solidified that they could win because they could drop these last two games and be out of the playoffs, right? Like Baltimore has to win
Yeah.
both of them, but I don't know. And then New England just ended up beating Baltimore in like comeback fashion circa 2012 and 2015 all over again. By the way, I remember being in a bar in 2015 watching that Pats and Ravens game and being like I was sitting there laughing cuz this the end of the third quarter came and they were up two touchdowns and I was like, "Yo, this is over finally. I don't have to deal with this shit anymore." Of
Does
seeing
this
New
bother you
England.
that you have to do? Does this bother you? You have to deal with this shit again?
No, no,
Does
no,
this
no, no.
bother you?
No.
Okay.
No, because it's not. First of all, I'm not there, so I don't hear it as much. But
Sure.
also it's a different attitude in these guys. The fans are still obnoxious. The fans are still the same. But
This Vrabel has this team being likable.
yeah, I think that's the thing. Drake May gives them a likability to them that they didn't really have before. Um,
Yeah.
you've got a little bit of diva in there with Stefan Diggs and Cardi B. I mean, like there's things that like it never would have flown during Belichick's time. But
Right.
yeah, I mean it's New England. Like I said, like they dropped that game to Buffalo the week before. They come right back and show like okay, Drake May hadn't had a come from behind win all season. Now he puts it out there right and gets it done.
It had a 300-yard game. Like he,
Yeah, I don't know. Did you watch the game? Yeah.
yeah.
What is I still and they've been talking about it, but like what is Harbaugh thinking? Like not even putting Henry out there. He's been running all over them all game, man. I I,
Yeah.
I don't get it. You must be sitting there like, oh, this is awesome. Like he's not coming in. Great, great, good for us.
Yeah. When he scores that touchdown to go up 24-13,
Hmm.
I'm like, man, cool. They're just gonna, even if like we score, we have to keep stopping Derrick Henry. And that's, we haven't done that all night. And then
Hmm.
like they just stopped using him
Yeah.
and like stopped playing him. And you're like, okay.
I'm sending you that guy on Instagram recently, the guy that just yells at the screen and he's like, the NFL's rigged and all this stuff. It's so funny. He's so mad. But oh man, it's so good to hear him saying that. He's like, convince me I'm wrong. I'm like these angry
Yeah.
people. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps up week 16. I think with like all the injuries, Christmas is gonna kind of be unwatchable. I hope it's not, but it's just a day of backup quarterbacks. It,
I'll give you $5 right now if you can tell me who Kansas City's starting quarterback is
oh, I can't
without
remember
looking. Because I had to look.
I can't remember his name, but he's a young guy, very young.
Yeah, his name's Chris Oladokin.
Yeah, yeah, awesome.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Watch him go out and throw six touchdowns, and Chiefs fans are like, "Yo, we don't need Mahomes anymore." Quarterback controversy. The Saturday matchups are a little more intriguing, though. You've got Baltimore at Green Bay, which I think is going to be very telling. I don't know if Love is going to clear protocol in that time. But even Lamar might not be there, man. Like Lamar suffered a pretty bad back injury in the game
Yeah.
against New England, but Baltimore desperately needs to win that game, and so does Green Bay. Like if Green Bay doesn't win, Detroit could sneak into the playoffs. So I don't know
If
that.
Baltimore loses, Pittsburgh clinches the division. And
Yep,
Baltimore, yeah. So
yeah. And then there's another really good matchup, which I'm disappointed it's the second game because I'm not going to be able to watch it. But it's Houston at the Chargers, and that is like that has serious playoff implications.
Houston wins, they're in. They clinch a playoff berth. So
Yeah, I think they're going to be in no matter what. I really don't see
I
them.
think so too.
Yeah, I don't see them dropping out. They've won what 10 games this year. Uh, I think
Yeah.
it's going to be hard for them not to make it. Um, and then Sunday there's some great games, right? Seattle at Carolina, which is like Darnold goes back east to play where he was before, and things weren't working out for him. And now Bryce
Yeah.
Young is, this is a huge test for him with this Seattle defense, right? They're playing very well. Seattle's riding that very emotional game with the Rams. How are they going to do with the time difference? Which, by the way, I read an interesting article about that, about how West Coast teams. There's been a massive study about this. I don't know. I'll have to send it to you. But West Coast teams that travel east for like afternoon games or night games, like they typically play better because
Yep.
the time that their body would be at peak performance, which is
Yeah.
very very interesting to read about. And there's been years of study on this, so it's really cool. I'll have to send it to you. But also we've got Philly and Buffalo, which there's no time difference there, right? Philly just going up to
Yeah.
play in Buffalo. Philly needs that game. Buffalo needs that game, right? Like there's a lot to.
Buffalo loses, we get the division.
Yeah, Philly is just hoping that like someone falters down the end, down the way here, and Buffalo's kind of hoping the same way that New England's going to falter. But if both of them can't lose this game, one of them has to win it. They could tie.
Yeah, if they could, which would be funny.
It would be, but that will be a big matchup because Philly feels like they're rolling, and they should have within the next few weeks some guys coming back. They've got Jalen Carter, Lane Johnson coming back soon. By the way, Philly just wrapped up winning the NFC East again 2 years in a row, and it's the first time since like
First time
in 20 years.
2004, back to
Yeah,
back division champs in that division.
yeah,
Wild.
super crazy. Also, you've got, and we talked about it a little bit, but Chicago at San Francisco, which is going to be really, really interesting. But
Chicago, all they need to do is win and they clinch the division. That's
yep,
it. That's all they have to do.
yeah. The NFC West, I think, is going to be interesting because within the next 2 weeks, like, they'll decide who's going to win that division. But all three teams have a shot. The most likely to win are obviously the Seahawks and the Niners because of their record in the division. But this is what I wanted to ask you. Like, what chance do you give them to be able to, like, one of those teams to end up in the Super Bowl?
Honestly, like I still like as much as San Francisco and Seattle have played well. Like I just still think that like from what I've watched this season, like out of out of that division, I think it's still the Rams.
Yeah, I feel the same
I
way.
like just they're so talented on offense and defense, and they have the best coach in the league.
Yeah, McVay is just, oh man. I don't think he's going to sleep during the playoffs at all.
Yeah,
Like, I'm pretty sure
and
he just
also
keeps
like
going.
I like you thought that like with Devontae Adams being out, that like Puka Nakua was just gonna have a pedestrian day. And it just seems like I don't know when he walks on the football field, people forget to cover him, and I don't understand the why.
He's a supreme playmaker, and it's not like he's bigger than anyone. It's not like he's super fast, or he's just a really solid football player. You know who he reminds me
Yeah,
of is like a bigger version of Julian Edelman, which Edelman used to
yeah,
drive me nuts because like just really good hands, really great football player, wasn't particularly great at anything. Like it wasn't an exceptional catcher, wasn't an exceptional route runner, wasn't an exceptionally big guy or very strong or overpowered anyone, wasn't faster than anyone, but just played on the football field better than other people. And
Mm.
when I looked at that, that's what used to drive me nuts about him was like, cover that guy. You know he's going
Yeah.
there. Cover him, right? Like you can't cover Gronk. I get it. You can't cover Shaq. I understand that, right? Like that makes sense to me. But I don't know. A guy like Puka is just he's outplaying people on the field. He's he's out
Yeah.
toughing guys too, and Stafford and him just have like unbelievable rapport. Uh, it's kind of wild. Uh, Plus, that defense is playing really, really well. I know you said Sam Darnold threw like a boneheaded pick, but it
A
was a
couple of them.
yeah, it was a defensive tackle that picked that ball right near the goal line, and or maybe he's an end, but right, like he plays on the D line and was able to pick that ball off and made it look kind of easy. So, um, I know this topic's been coming up constantly, but is it do or die for Josh Allen?
I mean, this is a year where you don't have Burrow and you don't have Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. And possibly no Lamar.
I'll just let's just assume no Lamar because, like, respectfully, I don't trust Baltimore to win 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So the quarterbacks that you have to go through in the playoffs are, and this is no disrespect to my boy Drake May, who is my Lord and Savior, but like you have to run through Drake May,
Mm-hmm.
Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, C.J. Stroud, Bo Nix,
And Trevor Lawrence.
and Trevor Lawrence. If you're not going to do it this year, I don't know when you're going to do it. Also, James Cook, man, he's the reason they're look at those stats. Just look at those stats, baby.
If we
Look
could,
at those
if
stats.
we could just
Leading the
erase,
league in rushing. My
literally,
God,
I don't know what it was. I felt like I needed to get on my soapbox that day and really hit the drum
man.
and just be like, "Yo, he's not that good." I think you know what it is, and I thought about
Mm,
this for a while. You know what it is that I don't like about him, and this is not fair at all. I was
sure.
such a huge fan of his brother Dalvin when Dalvin played, and I think I
Yeah.
just had it in me to be like, he's not as good as his brother.
I forget that they're brothers, to be honest with you. I,
Yeah,
I kind of always forget that.
yeah.
I
Um,
need you to know that it takes me a lot of willpower to not screenshot Buffalo's box score every week and send it to you.
yeah, I
It
know.
takes a lot of self control on
Well,
my part.
listen, it may come back. You know, karma always comes around. I'm playing against him in the championship this week, so
Well,
yeah, we will see. Uh, yeah, man. Um, you're right about Josh Allen, though. It does look like it's the easiest path for him this year. I don't think it's do or die. Like as long as he's on a team, his teams are going to have a chance. They're going
I
to
actually think it is do or die this year.
really.
Like, because if you're not going to do it this year, when are you going to do it?
Yeah, I don't think this is his best team, so I still think they can reload and he'll still have another chance. I really do.
Respectfully, in the AFC, it's nobody's best team this year. Like,
Yeah,
this could be, like, if you're going to do it, this is it. Like,
I don't know. There's some teams that I feel like it is their best team. Like I look at Denver, I think that is their best team.
Denver, that defense is something else.
Yeah,
But,
they're
like,
really good. Houston, they haven't been playing at the beginning of the year that well, but they've come on really strong late. Um,
the
I
thing
mean,
with Houston and Denver is they have defenses that can carry them to a Super Bowl.
yeah, listen,
Straight up.
Houston for me, like you could tell me that Houston could go on a run in these playoffs, and all of a sudden CJ Stroud comes alive and they put up buckets of points. You know, they got a number one wide receiver. They have a decent running game. It's not great, but decent. And they just have a lights out defense. And that's the thing. In the playoffs, turnovers really matter. So I don't know, man. Houston could mess around and make the Super Bowl. I don't know. I really think in the NFC, and this is just my opinion, but in the NFC, I think it's going to come down to most likely for me. I hope it comes down to Philly and LA playing again in the NFC Championship. That's what I want to see. Um,
Oh, I
Lam-
want Philly to have a first round flame out. That's what I want to see. I just want to
oh,
see the Eagles fans in my life just be like, we got to trade Jalen Hurts. Rah, 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 rah. Like, I take great delight in a lot of things, and I don't troll a lot of people online because
mhm.
I have there's a better use of my time. But I have some Eagles fans, my friends in my life that like, boy, I just like just giving them the business because it's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, they ask for it though when it's like, "Oh yeah, we need to trade our quarterback," when you're not going to get someone better than that. Like he man, it's such a difficult city to play for, but I mean, this is a guy that won Super Bowl MVP and was the MVP of a Super Bowl that he lost. Right? Like you just look at it now, like if Philly ends up back in the Super Bowl again, still by week 6 next year, they're going to be calling for his job. Like it's
It's
going to
funny to
happen,
me
man.
that Nick Sirianni could get fired this year after winning the Super Bowl last year.
I don't think he will. I don't think there's any way they're going to fire him, man. I really don't. Even if they go out
Okay.
and if they go out in the first round of the playoffs, I still don't think they move on from him. He's I
Yeah.
think winning a Super Bowl gets you at least 2 years of leniency, unless you go like 0-17. I, I mean, this team is still has a chance at a 1 seed. Probably not, but they just went and I know it's not a huge deal, but they just won their division for the second time in what 24 years, 25 years. Like
Right.
I don't know, man. It will be interesting what happens, but did you see the Pro Bowl nods came out?
I
Oh boy.
You and I'm glad that you made a note of this because I had the same thing. I don't understand how somebody can make the Pro Bowl playing 5 games. I just don't
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
Why,
I don't know.
why is this a fan vote? This
Yeah.
is like,
I don't get it. You know what they should do? They should ask the players, in my opinion. That's who should vote on it. Should be the players.
also Tyler Warren not getting in over Travis Kelsey. Like, it's so, and like, they have similar statistics. But if you look at who's made more of an impact this year, like, come on.
Yeah, I again, it's a popularity contest, and I get that, but the only snub that I was okay with, and this, I still think each team, each year, there should be one wild card where, like, regardless of position, there's one guy in the AFC, one guy in the NFC that gets in. For
Oh, they do
me,
this they, baseball with like the last in vote.
yeah,
Yeah, they,
yeah, like
yeah.
Chris Olave not getting in, and he's had a career year, but like I understand why, right? JSN, Puka, Amon Ra, and Pickens all had great years.
Well, okay. Here's
They did though. They all had really
I
good
know that
years.
they did, but like if you just kind of look at Amon Ross stats, I understand that the stats say he had a good year, but like
A lot of it was
I don't
bloated
know,
in certain
man.
games. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I
It could have been him. It could have been him, Olave instead of him. I'm okay
I
with
would have been
that.
okay with that.
Yeah, yeah. My biggest one, and this is like, dude, this one really frustrated me more than anything. I mean, I really agree with you on Joe Alt that like if Joe Alt can get in with 5 games, then how come Lane Johnson didn't get in? I mean, he's the best tackle in football. I don't
Yep.
understand how he didn't get in, but Isaac Ciamolo, uh, from Pittsburgh, just dude, the guy first of all hasn't been penalized all year, not one penalty all year,
Pretty
and
impressive.
he ranks in the top 5 in pass block rate and run block rate. How is this guy not getting in? And this guy, maybe you don't remember him, but from 3 years ago, he played for Philly. Like
Yeah,
before
no,
they,
oh yeah.
yeah, I don't know. For me, after they lost in the Super Bowl, he signed with Pittsburgh, and like he's been lights out since he got there. And I don't know, man. Like it's super head scratching to me. And I realize
Yeah.
some of these guys are going to get in because there's guys that are going to be in the playoffs that are in the Super Bowl. They're not going to the Pro Bowl. Like I understand that, right? Some guys are going to be injured, so other guys are going to get in. But it's like kind of like a hey, you didn't want me initially. Why do you want me now? Type thing.
Yeah.
For me, it just really bothers them to see some of the picks, and it really to me it says there's a lot of people that vote that are very out of touch with football and are just voting for their favorite player.
Yeah.
Which
Speaking of the Steelers, real quick,
I get it.
can we talk about shout out Mike Tomlin, 19 straight winning seasons, baby.
Yeah, man. He's a stud, dude.
How's he doing?
He's a
It's
stud.
incredible.
And they were even saying about like how they need to move on from him. Like all these guys, Ryan Clark were smashing the table, saying like,
Fucking
yeah,
idiots.
it's
Idiots.
time for them to move on from him. They should part ways and stuff. And it's just like you know what, like it's so easy to overreact, but I feel like that's the way it's become with sports, like critiquing sports now is like it's way too far one side or the other. Like, up, need to fire this guy, need to move on from this quarterback that we guaranteed hundreds of millions of dollars to. Just cut him, right? Like,
Yeah.
do you know how difficult it is to find a coach like Mike Tomlin? Like the Steelers, if
Well,
they get rid of him, they will.
I think about like being a Patriots fan. We went on that run. Okay. We didn't win the Super Bowl every year. And there were years where I definitely was like, yeah, we should have won that year. We were the best team.
Mm-hmm.
But like in those years after, like years we didn't win the Super Bowl, you know what I wasn't doing? I wasn't like, you know what, we should fire Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I don't know.
yeah, me neither. It makes no sense to me. I never once thought to myself like fire Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because you know what's great? Having your team contend every year. That's
every
great.
year.
All you want, you know what? I would rather my team make the playoffs 15 straight or in Pittsburgh's case 10 straight years and not win a Super Bowl than watch my team not go
Win
to the
7
playoffs at
Super
all.
Bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like as somebody that just
yeah.
watched my team for 5 straight years, like just kind of be ass, it's not fun.
No, it's not. It doesn't feel good at all. Especially when the
No,
guy
like
that you let go went off and won a Super Bowl somewhere else. Like that's the part that really
yeah.
burns, you know. And I'm not trying to
Yeah, sure does.
I'm not trying to rub that in. I'm just saying like
No, I
it
know, I
stinks.
know.
It stinks when you cut bait on someone and you think they're washed, and turns out they're really not.
Mm.
But listen, fantasy playoffs. I hope you guys are doing well in your leagues out there. But this is championship week, so best of luck. Guillotine League will be decided this week as well. I'm in the finals in one league, so I'm very happy. Really excited to see what's going to happen, but I'm trying not to get too high or too low on it. I did
You're not counting the money yet. You're not
so
counting the money yet.
so I got to share a tiny story of what happened in the semifinals. Like I had Puka Nakua, and my team scored like a ton of points, right?
Mm.
Obviously off to a really good start with him, but like the other team that I was playing against, they scored like I don't know 148 points on the week. I scored 177, something like that. So I won pretty comfortably. But going into the Monday night game, I was up 50 points, and I thought to myself like I started to have like this recurring memory in my head, and it was going on loop of like, okay, like this is the feeling that I had when I was thinking about George Kittle playing the Colts, and he went off for 5 touchdowns tonight or 4 touchdowns and scored over 50 points, and I that's how I ended up losing in fantasy this week. Like I kept like things would happen during the day where I would remind myself of that, and I'm like, no, don't let this happen. Like, is this really gonna
Yeah.
happen? So I hope that like I've clearly had the best team in the league this year. I'm really hoping that I'm able to finish it off right. Um, and it turns out drafting guys like Jameer Gibbs and Puka Nakua and having Devin Achan on your team, like that really helps.
Yeah.
Um, so it also helps when you have a kicker score like outscore a lot of guys that people drafted in the first
If
and
you're Jason
second
Myers.
round. No, I don't. I've got Aubrey, but it,
Oh, okay. That's
but
just as good.
I drafted him in the 8th round, and people were laughing, and I was like, all right, cool. Like Jason Myers has been a stud too, but I couldn't pick him up because I had
Somebody,
Aubrey.
yeah, yeah,
So I don't know. We
yeah.
will see. We'll,
Fantasy playoffs for me. It's just the Bennett League at this point. I was playing Muggsy this week, and I had a sizable lead going into Monday night. All my players had played, and so Muggsy had Brock Purdy, he had George Kittle, and Pierce from the Colts. And you can guess to my chagrin watching that game and watching Brock Purdy throw 5 touchdowns, Pierce catch 2 touchdowns, and George Kittle scoring 27 points, how that ended for me.
it seems like things went really well for you based on
Sure did.
yeah.
Sure did.
Oh
And so
my
now this week in
goodness.
Bennett League, I am slumming it in the 9-10 game. The best I can finish is ninth place after winning the championship the year before.
I'll tell you, that doesn't feel good at all.
Nope.
That does not feel good at all.
From the penthouse to the outhouse.
Yeah, that's the way it kind of goes, right? Like We don't want it to go that way, but sometimes it does. Um,
Oh, and you know what else was great? Because Jalen Warren had been ass lately, I sat him. I sat Jalen Warren. You know how many points that was on my bench? 36.
yeah.
36 points. It was great. It was great. I love fantasy football so much. So much.
Um, I just want to point out to you
Mm.
that even if you had started Jalen Warren,
It wouldn't have been enough.
it wouldn't. You would have lost by just a little bit,
Yeah. I know.
a little bit. But
I
listen,
know.
it happens, right? It happens.
Watching, yeah. Watching watching somebody throw 5 touchdowns that cost you in fantasy football playoffs is it's a feeling. So
Yeah, that's tough, man. And those were the
yeah.
guys that popped off. They
Yeah.
were. Oh man, definitely not fun. I am going to be playing this upcoming week to find out who is the losiest loser in that
Yeah.
league. So yeah, I'm going to do my best. Try not to finish last. I'm playing against Labas, who's beat me twice this year. Um, and
Yep.
we should give a little shout out too. Um, should we?
We should. We should.
Yeah, so like he gets a bad rap sometimes, but I think he's actually a good guy. Uncle Raj doesn't realize he's on the verge of making history this year in my league. He's beat my buddy twice that he's playing this week for the last place in the league, uh,
Mm.
and yeah, that's who we refer to as Mister Eighth Place. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that ends up. Rogers behind the 8 ball right now because he has DK Metcalf, and make sure you don't start him this week because he's suspended. But
Give
maybe
him free fantasy advice.
yeah, just listen to me and I'll help you. He
Look,
may.
you know what? Like, if he just pays attention, he could go from being the 7,000th best Myro to maybe top 20. I don't know. Like,
I mean, he may have something to say about that. He may.
okay.
I don't know for certain, but he may have something to say about that. But yeah, anything else you wanna do for a shout out before
Yeah,
we
no,
go?
any messages that Uncle Roger has for me, you forward them my way. You
Okay.
forward them my way.
I think
Yeah.
it's time maybe I just share the contact information and you guys can go
I
from
think it
there.
is too. I
Yeah.
think it is too.
Yeah. Just send
You know
him
what? Give him my contact information. I would love that.
okay. I'll make sure
I
I
would,
share it with him.
yeah,
He'll be thrilled. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, guys, until next week, we'll have not only fantasy football wrapped up next week, but we may even have the playoffs decided for what teams are in and what teams are out. So we hope you guys have a safe and Merry Christmas or a good holiday season. And
Yep.
yeah, we will be back next week giving you guys the lowdown.
Yeah.
Until next week, though.
Hey, I love you. Merry Christmas. I miss you.
Love you, bro. Merry Christmas. We're gonna
Yeah.
have some fun soon.
Here we are.
All right. Peace.